Yeah, we living in a world where the rules don't apply. They say we gotta follow, but we ready to fly. System got us boxed in, trying to keep us small. But we rise like the phoenix, we ain't scared to brawl. They feeding us lies, but we see through the smoke. We're the voice of the people, we're ready to provoke. They want us to divide, but we're stronger as one. Breaking chains, taking names, yeah, we getting it done. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. Fist in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. In the world of division, they showed us how to share. But the weight of our sorrows, they never taught us to bear. We split our joys and laughter, but the pain remained untold. A burden we carry alone, a story left untold. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. He lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. We learned to divide our dreams and multiply our fears, but the ache in our hearts only grew with passing years. They gave us all the answers, except how to heal. The scars that run so deep, wounds the time can't seal. Yeah, they taught us how to share, but only the good. Smiles and laughter like we understood, but deep down inside, there's a storm we hide. Pain in our hearts, we're just trying to ride. Put on a mask, yeah, we play the part, but nobody sees the cracks in the hearts. We share our dreams, the highs and the lows, but when it comes to hurt, we just close the doors. We share the fun times, deflect the pain, laughing in the sunshine, dancing in the rain. But the shadows linger, they creep and they crawl, breaking us down, but we don't share at all. We got hate in our hearts, but we can conceal. Taught to share the joy, but wounds, they stay unhealed. They say love was easy to divide, but the heartache never subsides. We tried to split everything into two, but the pain lingers strong and true. Shared our dreams, divided our fears, but the sorrow remained through the years. No matter how we tried to let go, the weight of our suffering continued to grow. Now we're apart trying to heal, but some wounds are too deep to conceal. They said splitting up will set us free, yet the pain lingers in you and me. In a world where rules are set in stone, the system's grip tightens, we're not alone. Bound by chains of injustice greed. Against the odds, we fight to be free. Mighty forces try to keep us down, but our spirits rise, refusing to drown. Defying norms, breaking through the mold. In this battle of wills, our story is told. As the clash continues day by day, we stand united, come what may. For in this world where rules don't apply, our strength and unity will never die. They try to silence our dreams, but we're loud and clear. With every step forward, conquering fear. They can't hold us back. We're the fire and the flame in this battle for freedom. We're all in the game. They say it's just a game, but we're playing for keeps. With the strength of the many, we're shattered the leaps. No more puppets on strings, we're cutting the ties. With our eyes on the prize, we're reaching for the skies. So let's stand together, let's break down the walls. In this fight for our future, we'll answer the calls. From the ashes, we'll rise like a storm. Riders ignite. It's us versus the system, and we're ready to fight. They build the walls, but we're digging tunnels. With every step we take, we're shaking the bundles. From the streets to the courts, we're raising our voice. In a world full of noise, we're making the choice. They want to keep us blind, but we see the light. Knowledge is power, and we're ready to fight. From the corners of the city to the halls of the state, where the heartbeat of the struggle can't afford to wait. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. It's in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. Now we stand here broken, searching for some light, hoping for a way out of this never-ending night. But through it all, we find strength in each other's embrace. Together we'll face tomorrow and find solace in this space. They say don't bring the drama, keep it all light. But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah, they echo when they shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain that we carry just grows and it grows. In a world of lessons learned, they taught us how to stand and burn. But the scars we hide deep inside are the ones that never subside. We followed all the rules they made, but the emptiness never fades. Their wounds like knives, cutting through leaving wounds that always grew. They painted pictures of success, but couldn't fix what's left from us. Now we're left to bear the strain of the pain that lingers, never wanes. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. That's in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. To remember this moment, remember this face, remember this sound. We're the voice of the future, and we won't back down. In the face of oppression, we'll stand up tall. It's us versus the system, and united we'll fall. Riders show how we unite.
All right, y'all. Listen, man, grab all the toxicity, grab all the toxic people in your life, all right? And what you do is you Kobe them right out the damn window. You Kobe them right into a trash can and forget about them like yesterday's newspaper because that's what they is. Irrelevant. All right, guys?
I don't get tired of telling.
So, let me take a minute. Let me welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. All right. This is another episode of Off My Chest and Into the Mic. All right. As Shorty speaks her mind. That we're going to talk about snaps and parenting. All right. Listen, if y'all want to, y'all can bring your own topic when I, get done saying what I got to say and put it out there. Let me, take a minute to appreciate my day one subscribers, those that have been rocking out with a Shorty. I really, really do appreciate you. I appreciate my new subscribers. Listen, man, I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for y'all. All right. So, I don't know where y'all watching from. All right. But let me just say, welcome to Philly, baby. And let's talk about it. All right. We're going to be talking about the snaps before we get into the next topic. All right. The parenting topic. Um, the snapback system and the reckoning. All right. So we got to be real about this. All right. Now I got a video that I'm gonna show y'all, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. All right. I'm listening to I think it's Senator Brooke Rollins, right? And she's saying that people got to reapply. My thing is, right, when it comes to these snaps, right, these benefits and all that, people already got to reapply every 6 months. The thing is that, right, we got workers in these within these buildings, right, that don't do their job, don't do what they got to do. All right, you know how hard it is to get in touch with these social workers. I mean, well, these how can I say I even forgot what the fuck they I'm so sorry, I'm cussing already. Shit. I even forgot what they're called. All right, caseworkers. There you go. Snap. I was stuck for a second. Jeez. All right. Listen, since the pandemic has started, all right, I feel as though listen, the receptions aren't the only ones out here. There are receptions out here that are, how can I say that cheat the system, right? They cheat the government and shit like that. But let's be real, all right? You got caseworkers in these places where they're also stealing from the receptions. You're supposed to be helping them out, but at the same time, you're sitting here taking. All right. A lot of caseworkers have been arrested since, C-19 has hit. But you got Brooke Rowland saying, all you got to do is reapply. I get what they're trying to do. All right. I feel as though in this process, they're going to see, the people that are cheating them and stuff like that. Y'all should have been catching on to that. See, if y'all implement the law, all right, then shit like this wouldn't be happening. But don't just implement the law on the civilians, also implement the law on the employees in these establishments. All right. So, like I said, when Brooke Rowland said reapply, she wasn't talking about lipstick or job interviews. All right. She was talking about survival. She was talking about 42 million people already, how can I say, stretched thin, already rationing dignity between the fridge and the mailbox. Now being told to prove their poverty again. All right. Make sure they're vulnerable, she said. As if hunger needs a resume, as if trauma needs a timestamp, all right? As if the system didn't already know who's been living off crumbs and prayer. This ain't just policy, it's performance. A shutdown that lasted 43 days, but the gaslighting, eternal. Because when the government shuts down, it's not the yachts that stop sailing, right? It's the EBT cards that stop swiping. It's the single moms who skip meals so her kids don't. All right. It's elders who choose meds over meat. All right. And now they want folks to reapply, to reprove their pain, to repackage their struggle, right? To requalify for what they've never stopped needing. Let's be clear. Fraud ain't the face of the hungry, right? Fraud wears a suit. Signs of contracts, signs off on contracts, right? Like, and then they call it oversight. Fraud is the ghost payrolls, the grant money that never, how can I say, that never reached the youth. The pensions padded while programs starved. So here's the truth, all right? You don't get to weaponize vulnerability and call it reform. You don't get to audit the poor while the rich rewrite the rules. And to every SNAP reception out there, you're not the burden. You're not the, how can I say, statistic. You're not the line. How can I say, the line? You're not a line item on someone's agenda. All right. You are the reason this country still breathes. You are the resilience they can't, how can I say, quantify. You are the proof that survival is sacred. All right. And I'm speaking to those who really need this. Because there's people out there that don't need this shit. Because if you're well and able bodied to go to work, go to work. Like I'm not understanding this shit. There's a lot of people out here, all right, that can go to work. Let me give y'all this, this little quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. All right. No one can make you feel inferior, all right, without your consent. And this one's by MLK. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. All right. And this one's one for me. And hopefully, y'all can hear me clearly. All right. Like, listen, you don't have to shrink to fit into systems that were never built for you. So reapply. Don't reapply. Shit, for me, nah. All right. We reawaken, we rebuild, we remind them the people are watching. And this time, we're not just surviving, we're strategizing. All right. There's a lot of people that do depend on these EBTs, but unfortunately, right, due to the corrupt people out here, right, within the systems, those caseworkers that are supposed to be helping, people out here, but instead they're robbing them. Then you got the set receptions, right, that are out here cheating and lying, all right, to get the benefits that they say they deserve. You see where I'm coming from? Those right there, those that be cheating and saying they deserve this, they demand this because, and they haven't done shit but sit in their mama's couch, all right, can't even figure out how to pop their mama's nipple out their mouth. Those are the ones that I feel as though, fuck them. I don't feel bad for them. I feel bad for the ones that actually do need it.
All right, you're watching live now. Welcome back in. A live look at the U.S. Capitol on this Friday evening, 5:19 in the nation's capital. Let's talk about SNAP benefits. Of course, the government shutdown is over, but questions surrounding SNAP benefits are still persisting. The Trump administration is saying that it will require millions of low-income people to reapply for food stamps as part of an effort to crack down on fraud. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins telling Newsmax that she plans to have everyone reapply for their benefits, but for now it's unclear when or how people would need to reapply. Grace Yarrow standing by. She's a food and agriculture policy reporter for Politico, and she's the author of Politico Pro's daily morning agriculture newsletter. I think my main question here is, what kind of fraud are they talking about?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So it's not 100% clear exactly what the secretary is planning to do yet. We haven't heard back from USDA when we sent them an email to request more details. Because SNAP participants are already required to recertify their application information every 6 to 12 months. And they're also required to update work history, income, et cetera, to make sure that they're still qualifying for SNAP along the way, or they'll get kicked off the program.
Facts. And if you're working, all right, for those that be like, oh, you can't work and receive snaps, you could work and receive food stamps. You cannot work and receive cash benefits from the welfare office. But if you're receiving, all right, under $1,200 a month, all right, wherever you're working at, you qualify for food stamps. And there are people out here that are working and do qualify for those food stamps, and they actually do need it. All right. Like, it's helping them get off, on their feet until they get a better job. All right. Some of these people are elderly people. So listen, some people, I feel as though some people just need to go out there and do some deeper research.
So a lot of the fraud that Republicans, including Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, are talking about is cracking down on folks receiving SNAP who aren't working. Or what Secretary Rollins has said is she wants to make sure, and the president said earlier this week, is that the administration wants to make sure that the folks who are receiving SNAP benefits are those who truly need it, in their words. So Republicans have already sought to crack down on error payments, which are just miscalculations from SNAP administrators, et cetera. So we have to stay tuned and figure out exactly what the department is planning on this.
Yeah, Secretary Rollins this week said that 186,000 deceased men and women and children are receiving a check. They say that's coming through SNAP, and they are citing data from 29 states that complied with the USDA's request for information.
So I have a question. See why I'm saying that? Listen, I said it, that's why I began with this, all right? The laws already are in place. The problem is that no establishment, no leader, all right, is enforcing these laws that are in place. That's why I constantly say red or blue, we fighting over crumbs. These politicians want nothing more than just power. All right, they're fighting to see who's going to be the next one to make it all the way to the top, so they could be in charge, and who could be in more control than the next. All right, but that's my opinion. All right, like, hey, maybe I'm wrong, but shit, pay attention to what's really happening around us. All right, once again, blue, we fighting for crumbs, man. Blessings, blessings. We got Shay Love in the building. Make sure y'all go check out Shay Love. Great conversations, great topics. And listen, she pops up a lot in the mornings and gives out motivational. All right. I'm gonna say quotes in the morning. All right. She be speaking in the morning. It's like motivation. I'm gonna put conversation. All right. Like right now it's a little hard to put it together, but shit, y'all get where I'm coming from, right? But back on topic, man. But listen, make sure y'all don't miss out on Shay Love, all right? Y'all won't be disappointed. Listen, I love listening to her, all right? She is very inspirational and very motivational. All right. If you wake up in the morning and you just want some motivation, all right, make sure you subbed up to Shay Love, because she will pop up, either upload a video or go live. All right. But back on topic once again. Listen, if they were amplifying, all right, these laws that they have, right, when it comes to these policies and shit like that, right? How is it, let me ask y'all this, how is it that someone that is been buried 7 feet underground receiving benefits? Somebody went and applied for those benefits for them. You see where I'm coming from? And a lot of this has been happening since C-19 came about, all right? So my thing is, like I said, y'all gotta really take the time and analyze, do y'all research, all right? Like, the corruption isn't just coming from outside of the welfare system, all right? It's coming from within, all right? And it's not the system itself. Guess what? It's the people within it.
Grace, did the shutdown shine a light in some way on how much money this program actually costs?
Absolutely. We saw a lot of talk about even the president himself, how come in Republicans' point of view. I think it's made its way onto the Hill. We've talked to several senators who said they were getting especially a ton of outreach about SNAP. And it was a big conversation on social media, which of course in this administration is really important to the president and to Secretary Rollins. We've seen a lot of conservative commentators come out and talk about reforming the program, restricting what SNAP participants can buy, ensuring that the folks who are receiving money truly need it. Of course, USDA has spent decades trying to crack down on how much they're spending and restrict it to just those who truly need help. But I think
my thing is, you could tell who truly needs help, all right? My thing is, listen, there's no way in hell. How the fuck is you fucking Rachel, take a step back, take a step back. How in the world is the dead receiving any type of SNAP? Listen, it's not just happening within the welfare system, right? This is happening within the Social Security Administration. This is happening, within how can I say, what are these places where you get these loans and you get these credit cards and all that? People are using information from the dead to get, all these things, all right, all these privileges. But my thing is, how can you not tell that the person has passed away? You're here doing a background check, right? Once the person is deceased, shouldn't it pop up in some type of computer? I mean, the SSI knows when someone has already been deceased when you warn them. So this means that people are being, people that are deceased, the person is not reporting to the SSI saying, well, look, listen, this loved one of mine has passed away, right? So there's no reason for y'all to keep sending any type of, Social Security, pension, anything. But no. See, the people do that. Y'all know that. Y'all knew this for years. All right. Like, listen, maybe I'm saying a little too much, but it's kind of like, come on, man. Why the good people gotta suffer for things that y'all should have already fixed within y'all system a long time ago? And this is why I'm saying when y'all vote in, y'all need to stop voting for who y'all like. All right. And I'm talking about locally. I'm not just talking about a presidential election. Y'all don't listen. We just had a whole election to vote in the commissioners and all that. Did anybody participate? There was a few people. All right. But a lot of people didn't go and vote. So guess what? If there's not enough votes, what happens is these politicians automatically get elected. All right. But nobody want to hear that. They should have systems that alert them to people being deceased. They have a means to know everything else. Real shit, yo. You was not lying, Shay Love. I mean, I think the same way. I say the same thing. You see where I'm coming from? Patricia Sanchez. Yes, I voted on 50. You voted on 50. I'm a little lost what you mean on that, but if you voted, man, congratulations, because that's what we need to do. Start focusing locally. All right, we need to start focusing on these legislators, the mayors, the senators, the governors. All right, the Congress people, councilmen, DAs, judges. All right, the elections just finished. I was just, I was the one dealing with the polls and all that shit at nighttime, getting the ballots into the boxes, making sure everything is in the right place. All right. And well, I wasn't the only one, but y'all get my whole point. I was working for the elections. So it's kind of like I'm sitting here, I was like, damn, like where is everybody at? Like when it comes to these type of elections, like if only the polls will fill up, right, as much as the presidential election polls do. Oh, okay, you from California. That's why I was like, wait, what in the world is you voted on 50? I was like, wait, what? Okay, but now I know. Okay. My bad. I'm from Philly. All right. I didn't know that. Listen. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I'm like, you voted on 50. Like, wait, what? And I'm still learning. All right. For those of y'all, all right, tuning in, a shorty is also learning. I don't know everything. All right. I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. I'm beyond that shit. All right. I'm not ashamed of telling people, look, like I know some shit and I'm still learning. All right. That's why we open a lot these panels. All right. We let people give their input and much more. Facts. I'm over here like, yo, wait, okay. So that's the way they talk over in Cali. I was like, wait, we just had, what was it called? We just did the elections. I'm like, I don't know what a vote on 50 is, but I just know that we had, we just did the commissioners, as you can see, right? Wait, I don't know if y'all can see that. Hopefully y'all can see that. It's my little badge, right? So basically, we just had general elections, but people don't pay attention to that, right? And that's something that we need to do, right? And what what a lot of people don't even know is that, and I say this time after time, if y'all go to town hall, it don't matter what city or state you're in, all right? If you go to the town hall in your city, all right, you can go and you could sit here and you could debate these policies, all right? You can make some changes within these policies, all right? But people don't take the time, all right? That's something that we gotta do. Like I don't know. I think people think that just coming online and just talking, all right, is gonna resolve everything, and I feel as though it's not. It is more. It takes a whole lot more. And going to these, how can I say, town hall meetings and stuff like that don't mean you gotta go ratchet, cussing people out. No, man, go over there. Write down a pitch if you gotta write it down. All right, but make sure you speak to them properly and they understand. Because if you give them a good ass pitch and let them understand this is the reason why, boom 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 boom, you can actually make a change. There's a lot of parents out here to go to town hall, all right, to make a lot of changes within these policies. Look at what this mom did, all right, when DHS charged her with child neglect. All right, she went to these politicians, all right, gave them a pitch, and boom, now they're trying to get the what is it called, the I forgot what it's called, the Child Act law. I forgot what it was called. Reasonable Child Act law, I think it's called, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Whereas in if a mom needs to leave her, 13-year-old, right, watching a 1-year-old babysitting for an hour or two, or needs to, let them stay with the child until they come home from work because they're running late. They shouldn't get charged with neglect or abuse of a child. All right. And we spoke on that too a little while back. I think that it's not a bad thing, but then I feel as though that there's going to be worse consequences to it because then we're forgetting about the parents that do neglect their kids. I mean, I can go deeper into this, but then we got to also realize DHS don't do their job the right way. No social. I mean, shout out to the few, because I can't even say no social workers. Shout out to the few social workers that actually care and do what they gotta do. But the majority of these social workers don't give a fuck. All right, they'll sit here and mess with a parent. All right, single mom, single dad, or parents that are co-parenting and doing what they gotta do, trying to get their life together. House could be a little fucked up, but it needs a little repairs, but they need to stack the bread up. They might have to wait for tax season. You see where I'm coming from, to do some heavy work into the house, and they want to fuck with them. All right, house is not really fucked up. It just needs. Listen, I know what it's like because listen, my mom left me a house. I know exactly what it's like, so I understand a lot of these parents. You see where I'm coming from? It's not cheap to fix a house that needs repairs, pipe repairs, electricity repairs. You see where I'm coming from? Is it livable? Yeah, a lot of these houses are. You see where I'm coming from? As long as you keep it clean, you do what you got to do, you got a livable house. You see? But people want to live bougie, like they're rich people living, in the suburbs, right? With houses that have been fixed up and they got all this rent money to give. They really don't. They can't barely even pay the motherfucking rent in poverty. But yet they want to live like they in the fucking suburbs living, or like in they're in fucking Beverly Hills with the celebrities and shit. Listen, don't even get me started, all right? Mm, I didn't know that. Shout out. Okay, I just learned something new today. Shout out to Patricia Sanchez. Yo, she says the poll says a lot. The polls say a lot of states voted blue on whatever's going on to vote about. We needed that in the House. That's why the Epstein files are being released. Oh, that's something new. I didn't even know that. Shout out to Patricia Sanchez. I appreciate the comment, yo. But that's some real shit, though. Let's get back onto this video, yo. I just wanted to put that out there, man. I wanted to remind y'all, man. Look, listen, man. Who do y'all think the government consists of? And I'm gonna just leave that right there. All right. Y'all think the government is just employees and staff? You see, working for the city? Then where does that leave the citizens and we the people? But you know what? We're gonna leave that for a topic of its own. A live, we're gonna get live one day. We're gonna go live one day, and I'm gonna just really talk on that. Just my opinion, all right? I mean, I don't know. It's like we was taught all this when we was younger. What happened? Like when in the world did a lot of us catch amnesia? All right, that's my biggest question. When did we catch amnesia? What happened as we was growing up? Like in the in between of us maturing. You see, because I know now we mature. We're sitting back, we're thinking, we're analyzing things, all right, trying to put things together, trying to resolve, all right, trying to prevent things from happening in the future, all right, trying to come together, unite, do all types of things now, right? But in the in between, right, what happened? Shit.
It's really come across as a renewed call. Commentators come out and talk about voted himself on Fox News earlier this week, talking about how bloated this program has become in Republicans' point of view. I think it's made its way onto the Hill. We've talked to several senators who said they were getting especially a ton of outreach about SNAP. And it was a big conversation on social media, which, of course, in this administration is really important to the president and to Secretary Rollins. We've seen a lot of conservative commentators come out and talk about reforming the program, restricting what SNAP participants can buy, ensuring that the folks who are receiving money truly need it. Of course, USDA has spent decades trying to crack down on how much they're spending and restrict it to just those who truly need help. But I think it's really come across as a renewed call for some reform to the program.
So Secretary Rollins is teasing an eventual announcement to basically overhaul the SNAP program in the coming weeks. Do we know how the administration is preparing for this overhaul? If you could expand on that, what are they researching?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a little bit unclear if this reapplication for benefits is something that the secretary is looking at in terms of her overhaul. Republicans already passed a $186 billion cut to SNAP in their reconciliation package earlier this year. So a lot of the GOP priorities that we've seen come up in agriculture policy discussions in the last few years have already really been passed through that reconciliation process. That includes restricting work requirements, making sure that, just cracking down on folks who have children, changing the age of what they describe as a child to make more people subject to work requirements. So a lot of folks will already get kicked off of the program at that point. So it's not 100% clear yet exactly what else the administration has planned. The reapplication piece could be a key part of that, or some other, new paperwork requirement for folks. What has come across to me in my conversations with Republicans is that their top priority is to make sure that undocumented people and only American citizens are receiving SNAP, which is the current law. But they also want to, address that as well.
So, as far as you know, is any immediate action necessary for any reason for those that are receiving SNAP benefits now?
Yeah, I would advise SNAP participants to make sure that your qualification information is up to date, even though folks weren't receiving benefits for a couple of weeks or only receiving partial benefits. You're still required to make sure that your information is up to date, especially because some of those new work requirements kicked in on November 1st.
I mean, it's always been like that. I bet y'all, like, listen, I've said this time after time. I'm from Philly, all right? I don't know, like, I know some of y'all's from Cali, from what I see. Some of y'all's from the UK, all right, Chicago and stuff like that. I'm from Philly, right? I do know that in Youngstown they do something a little. Youngstown, Ohio, they do a little something a little similar, like they started doing here in Philly for the past few years, and it's been up. It's been over 10 years they've been having this program here, Career Link in Philadelphia. All right, whereas in right, the welfare sends you a referral. You go into the Career Link, or listen, doesn't matter if it's the welfare. It could be another how can I say, a program that sends you into this program, all right, to get help and to getting a job, all right. And basically, right, what happens is while you're transitioning into getting a job for whatever the reason it was that you was working, it doesn't even matter, all right. But while they're helping you transition into the job, you get, cash benefits, you get food stamps and stuff like that, all right. They'll get you into workshops and stuff like that. They'll help you get your GED. They'll also help you get your a trade, all right. And basically, after while you're doing that, they'll also help you transition into getting that job. All right, and keep that job. They'll keep working with you for a year and some change. All right. I know they've worked up to almost 2 years with a lot of people, the most. All right, and a lot of people have benefited from these programs. All right, those that have jobs that where they receive not so much income, they qualify for food stamps, all right? They'll help the people with SSI and stuff like that transition into jobs. If they can't work, all right, they'll help them keep their SSI check, all right, and find them programs to get into to keep them occupied and services, therapy, much more. All right. So there are a lot of programs out here that help people. But like I said, here in Philadelphia, I've seen so many people be so bougie. All right. They want to be something that they not. What I mean by that is they swear that a lot of people swear that they live in condos and, how can I say, mansions and shit like that when we're just living in fucking row homes. All right. Like, let's be real, apartments, studios. All right. Some people live in freaking rooms. Some people have 5 to 4 cars, don't even own a freaking job yet. But yet, they are on food stamps and cash. Come on. See, that's the problem. Be who you is. What is the problem if you got a house that's fucked up and you got to repair it to make it look beautiful? That's your story. That's you. That's where you're at right now. All right, you don't have a luxury home. You could turn it into a luxury home. You know how many people be like, "Damn, I can't believe that." You accepted your mama house. While I've had hundreds of people was like, "Damn, man, Ray, you're taking too much. You need to take the house." You see where I'm coming from? I didn't listen to those at one point because, at one point in my head, I was like, "I got this. I don't need that." Da, 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 da. Then when I had to sit here and help my brother, right, that was dealing with schizophrenia. And even though I was trying to help him, I had to get a judge involved. By the time I tried, to get him all the services he needed, my brother's not here no more. All right. You see where I'm coming from? Me, for a minute, it felt like I did everything in vain. But in reality, I didn't. All right. Like, as crazy as it sounds, there was something learned within that journey, that mission that I had to take, right, on trying to help my brother. But as crazy as as crazy as it sounds, right, like he's a perfect example. When he was alive, the people around him just wanted him because he had a little check. He had a little SSI check. He received food stamps on the side. All right. Now he was somebody that we was trying to really work with to try to get the help and benefits. Right. It wasn't easy when people was in his ear. All right. When he did receive the medical attention, you could work with him. You see where I'm coming from? So my whole point is, right, let me put it like this. There are schizophrenics right now, like my brother, with the proper attention, if they accept it, all right, they could even get a job out here. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, there's no programs, I can't get no help. There's no help because you don't want to get to it. But the resources are out there. All right, the programs are out there. It's just that you don't want to take advantage of it because you think that you're above it. But yet you want to come and you want to steal, you want to cheat the government and take away from those that actually do need it.
So once state administrators get over this obstacle of trying to re-implement full benefits now that the government is open, they're going to be looking to make sure that they're implementing the GOP's SNAP plan appropriately. So I would just advise folks to check on that, make sure they understand the new rules, and you can find that on the USDA's website.
Grace Yarrow is a food and agriculture policy reporter for Politico and the author of Politico Pro's daily morning agriculture newsletter. Always good to check in. Thanks.
What if you were prepared for...
All right. Hey, beautiful. Let me see that hair of yours. Give me 1 second, guys, while I deal with my baby. She was just getting her hair done. All right, I just want to see her little style. Let me see it. Come here. Oh, shit. She killed it. Come here. Look. Show the camera. Look right there. That looks pretty. All right, go get yourself together. Ooh, I gotta call Daddy and tell him that you just got to finish your hair real quick. Oh, snap. I like it. All right, the Shorty did her thing with her little hair right there. She gonna look pretty as shit tomorrow for school. Today, I'm all off my days and shit. Yeah, today is the day. I was like, I know I'm not tripping. She got school tomorrow. All right, guys, look. I just want to say this, all right? We got to be real. Let's be real. The law's already there. The policies already passed. The problem ain't the paperwork, all right? It's the people who refuse to implement it. Leaders, mothers, fathers, workers, red or blue, all right? We're all out here fighting over crumbs while the whole damn cake been sliced and served to the same hands that never go hungry, all right? I'm not going to sit here and lie. We got the answers in our face. When what is she? She's supposed to be senator, right? I forget what the fuck. Council member, senator, all right, said that to reapply, just know that you already have to renew every 6 months to get snaps in cash. I'm not sure if it's like that in every city and state. I do know that there's a few states that I know of that are like that. All right, listen, that's not new, right? It's just repackaged control. And listen, this fraud, it ain't just being committed outside the welfare system, all right? It's happening within the department, all right? Workers stealing from receptions. How many do y'all think got arrested since, C-19, since the pandemic started? All right, so let's be real. The system ain't broken, it's rigged. It's about protecting the vulnerable. It's about policing them. It's about, how can I say, it's not about fraud prevention, all right? It's about control, all right? It's like, let me put it like this, all right? I'm going to put a few quotes out there, all right? One from Gloria Steinem, all right? The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off, all right? Then this one by Maya Angelou, all right? When you know better, you do better. And now that we know how these things are, we should be doing better, but some choose not to, all right? And here's my own quote, all right? We are not the problem. We are the proof that survival is sacred. That's the best way I could put this out here for y'all. Thank you, Patricia Sanchez. Thank you. I appreciate you. Te lo agradezco. Muchas gracias. All right. And I know that this ain't for everybody. This message ain't built for comfort, all right? It's built for clarity, all right? It's not dressed up in sugar or stitched with silence, all right? It's raw, it's real, it's righteous. Some people are gonna go, and some people are just gonna scroll past it, all right? Some are gonna get offended, some are gonna feel exposed, but the ones who need it, they're gonna feel seen. They're gonna feel called. They're gonna feel ready. All right. So, like Maggie Kahn says, speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. All right. You shouldn't feel ashamed of who you are and where you come from. And one of my own quotes. All right. This message ain't for, how can I say, the masses. It's for the movement. So if it hits you in the chest, if it makes you pause, reflect, or rise, this, how can I say, then it was meant for you, all right? And if it don't, that's fine too, all right? It'll reach who it's supposed to reach when it's supposed to. Because this ain't just how can I say, us talking or us reclaiming, all right? It's reckoning, it's a reminder, all right? It's a ripple in the silence. Let me ask y'all this. All right, I know there's a poll down there, and I'm gonna end it in a minute. But who do y'all think is really committing the most fraud in the system? Receptions trying to survive, workers inside the department, contractors, or vendors, right? Elected officials and their friends. Who do y'all think, all right, is committing the most fraud in this system? And I think it's all the above, all right? Believe it or not, for me, in my opinion, all right? So with that being said, all right, we're going to touch on the parenting topic in 1 second. But before we do, all right, I want y'all to hear this. I'll be right back.
Break the chains of the past, let's rearrange. So, yeah. We living in a world where the rules don't apply. They say we gotta follow, but we ready to fly. System got us boxed in, trying to keep us small. But we rise like the phoenix, we ain't scared to brawl. They feeding us lies, but we see through the smoke. We're the voice of the people, we're ready to provoke. They want us to divide, but we're stronger as one. Breaking chains, taking names, yeah, we getting it done. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. It's in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. In the world of division, they showed us how to share. But the weight of our sorrows, they never taught us to bear. We split our joys and laughter, but the pain remained untold. A burden we carry alone, a story left untold. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. He lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. We learned to divide our dreams and multiply our fears, but the ache in our hearts only grew with passing years. They gave us all the answers, except how to heal. The scars that run so deep means the time can't see. Yeah, they taught us how to share, but only the good. Smiles and laughter like we understood, but deep down inside there's a storm we hide. Pain in our hearts, we're just trying to ride. Put on a mask, yeah, we play the part, but nobody sees the cracks in the hearts. We share our dreams, the highs and the lows, but when it comes to hurt, we just close the doors. We share the fun times, deflect the pain, laughing in the sunshine, dancing in the rain. But the shadows linger, they creep and they crawl, breaking us down, but we don't share at all. We got hate in our hearts, but we keep concealed. Taught to share the joy, but wounds, they stay unhealed. They say love was easy to divide, but the heartache never subsides. We tried to split everything into two, but the pain lingers strong and true. Shared our dreams, divided our fears, but the sorrow remained through the years. No matter how we tried to let go, the weight of our suffering continued to grow. Now we're apart trying to heal, but some wounds are too deep to conceal. They said splitting up will set us free, yet the pain lingers in you and me. In a world where rules are set in stone, the system's grip tightens, we're not alone. Bound by chains of injustice greed. Against the odds, we fight to be free. Mighty forces try to keep us down, but our spirits rise, refusing to drown. Defying norms, breaking through the mold. In this battle of wills, our story is told. As the clash continues day by day, we stand united, come what may. For in this world where rules don't apply, our strength and unity will never die. They try to silence our dreams, but we're loud and clear. With every step forward, conquering fear. They can't hold us back. We're the fire and the flame in this battle for freedom. We're all in the game. They say it's just a game, but we're playing for keeps. With the strength of the many, we're shattered elites. No more puppets on strings, we're cutting the ties. With our eyes on the prize, we're reaching for the skies. So let's stand together, let's break down the walls. In this fight for our future, we'll answer the calls. From the ashes, we'll rise like a storm. Riders ignite, it's us versus the system, and we're ready to fight. They build the walls, but we're digging tunnels. With every step we take, we're shaking the bundles. From the streets to the courts, we're raising our voice. In a world full of noise, we're making the choice. They want to keep us blind, but we see the light. Knowledge is power, and we're ready to fight. From the corners of the city to the halls of the state, where the heartbeat of the struggle can't afford to wait. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. This in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. Now we stand here broken, searching for some light, hoping for a way out of this never-ending night. But through it all, we find strength in each other's embrace. Together we'll face tomorrow and find solace in this space. They say don't bring the drama, keep it all light. But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah, they echo and they shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain that we carry just grows and it grows. In a world of lessons learned, they taught us how to stand and burn. But the scars we hide deep inside are the ones that never subside. We followed all the rules they made, but the emptiness never fades. Their wounds like knives, cutting through, leaving wounds that always grew. They painted pictures of success, but couldn't fix what's left from us. Now we're left to bear the strain of the pain that lingers, never wanes. It's us versus the system. We're breaking the mold. Listen
Are you
again.
live?
Yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise. Let them know we're here. Riders ignite. So remember this moment. Remember this face. Remember this sound. We're the voice of the future, and we won't back down. In the face of oppression, we'll stand up tall. It's us versus
United
the
we'll
system.
fall.
And united we'll fall. Riders show how we unite.
Yeah, you told me that fucking toxicity into a damn trash can. Forget about that shit like it's, yesterday's news shit. Yo, real shit. Man. Alright. So I'm gonna end this poll. Should I leave this poll for later on? Let me see. How many people voted? Can I see? Like, why are you not showing me the poll properly? Let's see. If I do this, can I see the poll properly? I cut my lip with my tooth. Damn. How many people have voted? All right, so we got 25%. Let me see. 0% say it's help. 25% say it's to control. 50% say it's both. 25% say neither is just broken. So the question on the poll was, do you believe the system is designed to help or control the poor? So I feel as though, 50% of the people are saying that it's both. Should I leave this poll for later on? No, I'm going to end this, John, because we're about to talk about parenting. So give me 1 second while I end this poll real quick, all right? And then we're going to touch into that next topic. It would have been nicer, we had a little bigger audience, but hey, right now we don't. All right, this would have. I'm gonna put together some more polls. All right, because I definitely, like I said, I'm trying to do these little giveaways. So Well, that's why 4 people only voted. That's because there's not a lot of people in the chat, Ray. But hey, let's continue. Screw whether there's people or not. We're gonna keep talking, all right? Because I know Selena is live, and I'm definitely gonna go watch her. So let's jump right into this, all right? Me, in my opinion, I feel like motherhood ain't a hustle, all right? It's a legacy, all right? Like, let me put it like this. Y'all know something, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm proud to be a mother, even though it ain't. How can I say? Even though I ain't planned to be one, even though life didn't hand me a blueprint, all right, I showed up. I grew up. I gave up pieces of myself so my child could have a shot at peace. All right. But you know what baffles me the most? When I hear a woman say, I don't get along with my kid, or worse, I regret having them. All right. I'm not proud of them. Like that child is a failed investment instead of a soul you bought into this world. And I got to ask, right? Why bring a baby into this world just to break them? Just to burden them with your bitterness? Just to make them pay for the love you never got? All right. Then what's crazy, then it hit me. Some women didn't become mothers out of love. All right. They did it with an agenda to trap a man, to fill a void, to prove something, to feel needed. And when that pain didn't play out, my bad, not the pain. When that plan didn't play out, when that man left, when the mirror cracked, all right, when the fantasy fell apart, they turned cold, detached, resentful. I know a few of them. Yeah, baby, go ahead. Like, I know a few of them. All right, and that child, that angel, becomes collateral damage. That child becomes collateral damage, a punching bag, all right, for her pain. A mirror she can't stand to look at because it reflects everything she never healed. All right, let me be clear. That ain't motherhood. All right, that's manipulation. That's projection. All right, that's legacy in reverse. Children are not, how can I say, children are not a second chance at your own childhood. You don't heal by hurting the ones you love unconditionally. All right. Motherhood is not about control. It's about cultivation. But some of you females out here won't know what that means. All right. To me, a mother ain't just someone who gives birth. A mother is someone who protects, all right, who nurtures, who checks her own wounds. All right. She don't bleed on her baby. A mother is someone who says, I didn't plan this, but I'm going to plan better now. All right. Who says, I may not have had the best example, but I'll be the blueprint for the next generation. All right. I got to fix these goddamn headphones. All right. So when I hear a woman say, I don't like my child, all right, I don't hear honesty. Unhealed I hear unhealed trauma. I hear ego. I hear a woman who never got to be a child herself. Right? And a lot of us didn't get to be kids. Yeah, but we healed that pain on time. Shit. Now we raising one like it's a competition. Hmm. Let me say this loud. If you brought a child into this world and you treat them like a burden, like a mistake, like a pawn in your personal chess game, you're not a mother. All right? You're you're a cautionary tale. All right? That's exactly what you are. Hmm. But maybe I'm wrong. All right? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Then again, I'm here talking to myself, right? So, hey, these are just my thoughts. If anybody feels offended by what I'm saying, listen, you can feel free to exit left. All right? Exit stage left. My bad. Like, you don't got to stay here. But at the end of the day, these are things that I'm seeing. All right? These are my opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. All right. I don't think I'm saying something out of pocket. And I don't think I'm bashing anybody. But to me, legacy is not what you leave behind. All right. It's what you build while you're here. Your child is not your therapist, your enemy, or your second chance. Be the mother you needed, not the one you had. And I know this message ain't for everybody. It's not meant to be. All right. It's how can I say? It's not for the ones still hiding behind excuses. It's for the ones ready to break the cycle. For the ones who looked in the mirror and said, I will not pass this pain down. The ones who chose healing over harm. The ones who turned regret into redemption. So if this hits you, let it hit you. Let it shake something loose. Let it remind you, all right, you can still choose to, mother with intention. You can still rewrite the story. You can still raise a child without raising hell. Because motherhood ain't a hustle, all right? It's a legacy. People need to like realize that. Let me tell you something, right? Even though I wasn't ready, right? I still decided to keep my baby. I chose to raise them, to love them, to show up for them, even when I didn't know how. Because no matter how mad my child gets me, I can't hate them. I can't stay mad because my kids, they mean the world to me. I love them with everything in me. All right? Listen, to be a parent, there's no manual. All right? No step by step, no perfect formula. All right? You learn as time flies. You grow as your child grows. You stumble, you cry, you pray, and then you get back up because little eyes are watching. One thing I could say, all right, with my whole chest, I wasn't ready to be a mother, but I don't regret bringing my babies into this world. Not for a second. All right, not not for a minute. Each one of them is different. All right, I got 3 kids, 3 souls, 3 hearts, 3 shades of light that saved me in 3 different ways. I'm not ashamed. I'm not mad. I'm a proud mother, a proud protector. How can I say? I'm a proud provider. I'm a proud builder of legacy. All right. There's no way to be perfect. All right. There's no, how can I say? There's no way to be a perfect mother, but a million ways to be a good one. All right. And that was said by Jill Churchill. Churchill, my bad. All right. But that's some real shit. Listen, your greatest contribution to the world may not be something you do, all right, but something or someone you raise. Let me put it like that, all right? I wasn't ready, but I was chosen and I chose love. That's my legacy. So to every mother out there who's still learning, still, how can I say, healing, still trying, you're not alone. You're not falling. All right. You're not your past. You are the soil in the sun. You are the first home your child ever knew. You are, how can I say, the blueprint for how they'll love, how they'll speak, how they'll rise. Hold on one second, baby. All right. And if someone told you today, I see you, I honor you, and I'm standing with you, that's motherhood. Because motherhood is not about being ready, it's about being real. All right. It's about choosing to show up even when you're scared, even when you're tired, even when the world tells you you're not enough. All right. But you are. You always were. And your babies, they knew it. All right. They feel it. They carry your love in their bones. All right, so give me one second. Let me attend my daughter real quick, and let me put this on for y'all while I attend my daughter.
Religiously, understand the 7 principles of hell. You understand the 7 demons within you. You understand the whole concept. It's a whole metaphysical concept. We ain't go over that, but anyway, so from a spiritual standpoint now when we say demons are owners, what happens when you vibrate in that frequency, when you have those emotions? Understand what emotions are. Your soul has to express itself. How does it express itself? With energy. That's how your soul expresses itself with energy. These feelings, these emotions that you have, that's your soul expressing yourself. So now when you get into emotion, energy and motion, emotion, that's your...
8, that makes sense. That kind of explains why I feel the way that I feel and I perceive things the way that I do. Check this out, coach. In a family of tradition, I stand out like a sore thumb. Born into the wrong lineage, feeling like I'm on the run. Surrounded by expectations that I can never meet. Yearning for a different fate. longing for retreat, mismatched with my bloodline, and outside of my own home, struggling to find my place, feeling lost all alone, dreaming of a different life where I could truly be free. Cursed with this legacy that never quite fits me, not just born into the wrong generation, but the wrong family too, bound by blood ties that suffocate and constrain my view, searching for acceptance in a world that doesn't understand, destined to break free from this legacy unplanned. I don't know, I just question everything, like, They say he's portrayed as a deceiver, but in the scriptures, his words seem pure. If he spoke without deceit, what does that say about the Lord's esteem? You argue over his motives, trying to conceal the contradictions. If he was truthful indeed, what does that say about the divine's needs? Lilith, she's in disguise, a woman who brings the skies to ruin. Her heart so cold, a mother, she's in control. Peter Pan was a fairy tale, or was it? When you look around, the majority of the men are childish, never want to grow up, being messy, causing chaos, living in the world of make-believe, and never taking responsibility. Lilith in disguise, a woman of deceit, causes mental lust and leads them to retreat. A woman who should be cast away in the world of shadows. She lives in the gray. Tinkerbell's light flickers in the darkness of their souls, searching for eternal youth and fun. But time marches on and responsibilities beacon. Will they ever learn to put away their toys and become men? Lost boys playing games, never wanting to face reality, flying through life with no direction or purpose, avoiding adulthood like it's a plague to be avoided, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Lilith, a mother she should be, but in her heart she's free. She abandons her duty, leaving her children in disarray, lusting her game to men she plays. She leads them astray, and they pay the price. Karma. I guess people don't understand that karma can go both ways. It just depends on how, your mind perceives it. Karma can go, real deep if you're not careful.
Bro, do you know that the missing component, like, people think to feel. Again, you're working from the outside in. You have to work from the inside out. Right. The reason people can't manifest because they don't even believe they can have what they asking for. You got to match that frequency. And belief is a feeling, it's not a thought. Right? This is where people get all this mixed up. So if you feel to think, feel to think. This is why we have dream boards and stuff like that, right? They want you to look at it and use those 5 senses. Any practitioner teaching you how to manifest things, what do they always say? Go and put yourself around the things you want. Why? So you can use those 5 senses so you can get a feeling of what the things are. So now you have a clearer picture of what the things are. So now people will try to manifest and look for the object they manifesting, but they not matching the frequency of it. So what happens is the universe gives you things to build you up to matching that frequency, to your own personal belief that you even deserve what you're asking for.
Yo, you're spitting some gems right there, coach. But for those of y'all in the background, man, check this out, yo. They say karma's bad, but is it true? Depending on your actions, that's how she'll come for you. She's a friend to me, but an enemy in your head. Karma brings me peace, while in your mind she spreads dread. We blame God for the problems around us, turning a deaf ear to our own mistakes. We blame the devil for our misguided actions, lost in the shadows of regret and mistakes. Elders criticize, we rebel in return, cutting off potential, lessons unlearned. Butterflies trapped in cocoons, dreams adjourned. A cycle of disrespect, the flames still burn. Parents strive growth, children push away. Generations clash, never finding a way. In heaven in progress, the price we pay. Butterflies grounded, never to sway. The cycle repeats, a never-ending chain. Misunderstandings persist, causing pain. Lost potential lingers like a stain. Generations at odds, searching in vain. We're stuck in a cycle of pain and sorrow, hoping for a better tomorrow. Black lives matter, white lives matter too. It's time to unite and break through. I'm just saying, it's 2025, but it feels like it's 1942. Black lives matter, white lives matter. That's the plea. Blaming the white man for all the hate that we see. Yet we're still killing our own kin. Can't break free. Struggling to find peace in this chaotic scene. Racism and violence staring at the seams. Pointing fingers while we continue to demean. Looking ahead with hope in our hearts. Learning from our past mistakes, making new starts. Together we stand against all that tears us apart. Black or white, it's time for a fresh start. We're quick to point fingers at others, but in reality, it's ourselves that we need. The power to change lies within us. Why blame others when we can be our own lead? Just a little food for thought.
But they trick you. They told you there's something outside you coming into you. That's how they get you to accept God is outside you. That's that old concept. God knows in you. That's why when you have a deep desire, things come true. When you get that feeling of God either way. Because that's true. But it's not outside of you, it's inside. They don't want you to know what's inside because there's a group of people that's not inside of you. They have to get you to participate and give the
Hold on 1 second. I don't think I'm
energy
good.
away
Hold
so
on.
they can have those experiences. And that's what most people do by worshiping something outside themselves. You're giving that energy away. I should have did this on the
In the balance of right and wrong, karma's tails tip where they belong. She rewards my deeds with serenity, but in your thoughts, she breathes enmity. Time's illusion, God's mix up in my mother's womb, a cosmic confusion. Feeling out of place like a puzzle piece misplaced. Searching for my purpose in this unfamiliar space. Born into a world that doesn't quite fit. A old soul trapped in a modern day script. Yearning for simplicity, longing for connection in a fast-paced world of constant
All right, y'all. My bad. My bad. I had to attend my daughter real quick. All right. So let's get back to it. Like I said, man, I can't stand women that'll sit here, all right, and talk bad about their kids or, make their kids look like they better than anybody else's kids and they're neglecting their kids, all right, like and making them feel, bad about themselves. Let me tell y'all something, all right. Let me tell y'all a little bit something, all right, from about my kids, from the oldest to the youngest. Let me tell you about my babies, all right. My oldest, he got autism, all right, hard headed in his own world. But I've taught him autism does not define who he is, all right? Like, it doesn't define his, how can I say, his diagnosis. Like, how can I say, let me put it like this, all right? Because when I talk to him, I say it like this. All right, I'm like, baby, autism does not define you. You are not your diagnosis. You are your dreams, your strength, your light. And now, listen, he's out in this world trying to find his place. And I'm right behind him, cheering, guiding, and protecting. All right. He has his hard times, all right. He goes through it. Sometimes, he has his little, but all I could do is sit here and back him up. All right. I don't force him to be here. I let him, to grow, expand. Like right now, he's, living with his friend, trying to, get themselves an apartment. They working together. Hopefully it works out. You see where I'm coming from? Others will say, oh, it's not, maybe it may not work, but I'm here to back him up. You see where I'm coming from? All right. Just because he's autistic doesn't mean that he can't have a life of his own. And a lot of people treat kids with autism like, they can't do nothing. My middle child, he loves sports, games, and being the protector. He thinks he's the man of the house. And maybe he is, because he protects his sister like a soldier, protects me like a shield. All right. He's gentle, but don't get it twisted. He's got a temper. All right. He's fire and calm in the same breath. And my youngest, whew, so sweet, yet so mean, smart, bossy, sassy at times. All right. She's the one who, how can I say, who will tell you about yourself with a smile on her face and glitter on her shoes. Real shit. All right. All three of them, they argue, they make up. All right. They get in trouble. They got a mouth on them. But that don't mean that I'm pushing them to the side. That don't mean that I'm bashing them because they're not perfect. If I ever get to that point, if I ever feel like I got to tear them down just to feel in control, then I got to look in the mirror and ask, Ray, what happened? What are you modeling? What are you passing down? Good job, baby. I'm proud of you. Like, because as a mother, I will say this, all right? With my whole chest, I accept my kids how they are, not how I imagined them. Not how the world wants them, but how they are. All right. Children are not a reflection of your perfection. They are their own people. All right. Unconditional love doesn't mean unchallenged behavior. It means unwavering presence. All right. You don't raise perfect kids. You raise whole ones. Like, listen. So to everybody, like, how can I say it? To every parent watching, if your child is loud, if they're different, if they're still fighting it, figuring it out, my bad. All right, love them anyway. Guide them, yes. Correct them, yes. But don't confuse discipline with destruction. All right, don't confuse control with care, because our kids, they're not here to, how can I say, complete our story. They're here to write their own. And our job is to make sure they've got the tools, the truth, and the love to do it right. You see, like we need to realize, right, that once again, parents didn't come with a manual. Like, there are so many people, but so many, I've seen so many parents, I mean, I know our parents used it a lot. I've heard a lot of grandparents say, I brought you into this world, I could take you out, right? But I brought them into this world, so who am I to make them feel less, right? Who am I to make them feel less than what this cold world already makes you feel? Like, who am I to echo the same pain that I swore I protect them from? As a mother, I don't regret any decision except one, helping those who kept stabbing me in the back while saying I love you. Helping people who wore masks to drain me dry, who blocked my blessings and kept me from giving my kids what I truly needed. But I learned, all right? I learned from all those mistakes. I cut the toxicity out. I cut the manipulation out. I cut the fake love out. And since then, we've been better. We've been lighter. We've been healing, all right? Like, you can't build a legacy with people who keep tearing down your foundation, all right? Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors the only truth can walk through. On some real shit. All right. I brought them into this world and I will let how can I say I will not let the I brought them into this world and I will not let this world break them. That's my truth. That's my legacy. So if you're watching this and you're still holding on to, people who keep you stuck, who keep you small, who keep you from showing up for your kids, let them go. Because your children deserve, all right? They deserve the healed version of you, the whole version, the version that doesn't flinch when love walks in. All right. The version that doesn't shrink when truth shows up. I brought them into this world and I will not let this world or anyone in it make them feel like they don't belong. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. All right. My bad. My bad. I had to attend my son real quick. All right. But let me tell you this. All right. Every time I messed up, I took the time to patch it up. I didn't sweep it under the rug. I didn't hide behind pride. I didn't pretend I was perfect because I'm not just showing my kids the good. I'm showing them the real, all right? The full picture, the flaws, the growth, the repair. I've taught them don't be ashamed of your mistakes. Don't run from them, all right? Don't bury them. Face them, feel them, fix them. Mistakes don't make you weak. Refusing to grow from them does, all right? Your children don't need a perfect parent, they need a present one, all right? Repair is the real flex. But hey, I guess a lot of people don't see it like that, all right? Being a parent is not always easy, all right? It's not always pretty. But me personally, I love it, all right? I love it with everything in me because every day I get to show my kids that love is not just feeling, all right? It's a choice, a commitment, a legacy. So if you're watching this, all right, and you've messed up, it's not too late. Patch it up, own it, model the repair, because that's what how can I say it? That's what real parenting looks like. All right. Shout out to all the OGs that was in my life that taught me, all right, that how can I say gave me that discipline and instilled the things that, are instilled in me and made me the woman that I am today. All right. My past was a dark one, but my past doesn't determine who I am. All right. So since we've been over a little hour into this right now, I'm definitely about to go see Selena, because she's talking about that 6'7". I just found out the meaning of this word, what 6'7" is. All right. Listen, I gotta go see. I gotta go check her out. Hopefully she's still alive. All right. So let me wrap this up. Right, the way it deserves, with truth, with fire, and with legacy. All right. We talked about SNAP, about reapplying for what you never stopped needing. We talked about how the system ain't broken, it's rigged. All right. How fraud ain't just committed by the hungry, but by the hands that holds the keys. All right. We talked about motherhood, not the fantasy, all right, but the reality. The kind that shows up even when you're not ready. The kind that repairs instead of, hides, the kind that protects instead of projects. We talked about kids, three different souls, three different shades, three different storms. All right, my kids, and how love ain't conditional, how parenting ain't perfect, but it's powerful when it's real. All right, we talked about cutting off toxicity, about choosing your children over fake love, about looking in the mirror and asking. All right, like for example, I'm gonna put myself as an example. Ray, what happened? And then answering with healing. Right? We talked about mistakes and how the real flex is the repair. How showing your kids the truth is better than pretending you never fell. All right? So here's the truth. All right? Remember the reckoning. You don't raise perfect kids, you raise whole ones. You can't build a legacy with people who keep tearing you down, who keep tearing down your foundation. All right? The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. All right? I wasn't ready, but I was chosen, and I chose to love. This ain't just a message, it's a mirror, it's a movement, it's a moment of clarity for anyone who's been surviving off silence, off shame, off systems that were never built for them. This is for you. So if you're watching this and if you feel exposed, good. That means you're alive. That means you're listening. That means you're ready. Because this live, it wasn't just about roasting dysfunction. All right. It was about reclaiming power. It's about choosing legacy over ego. It was about saying, I brought them into this world and I will not let this world break them. All right. And if you're a parent, you will understand exactly what I'm saying. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reflecting. All right. Now go love louder. Go parent with purpose. Go cut off what's killing your peace. Go build what they said you couldn't, because this isn't the end. All right. It's just the beginning. So next time, this y'all Shorty Rachel. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble day and continue to have a blessed and humble evening. And we out.